Child can learn to solve any math word problem with this technique. Hi, my name is Kala. I'm a thinking catalyst. I make my students think about mathematics and help them remove math fear and become independent math learners for life without taking anybody's help, let it be me or their parents. So, what are we talking about here? Today about solving math word problems. So here I'm talking about a principle that if a child follows, then they can solve any math word problems. And before that, let me tell you my story. I was thinking that I'm a very logical person. I'm not a creative person. That was my belief for 30 years. 30 years. Then recently I realized that I'm a very, very creative person, and that is how I'm good in mathematics. I realized it recently, because without creativity I couldn't have got this, this well good in mathematics, and I did not realize it also. So this technique actually I took out from an expert mathematics teacher whom I'm interacting with. I'm learning from them also. But I was using it a different way, but I would like to tell the way that they had told. Just right away we'll get the technique, right? So, whenever you have a math word problem, the first step is read it and understand all the words. Understand, if you don't understand the words, there's no point in further going. So, child has to understand all the words. First read it and understand all the words, or all the things. The second thing is paraphrase. Paraphrase means they should be able to tell to you or to the other person or to themselves in a different way the same question. Means in their own mother tongue or anything. They have to tell it back to know whether they have understood correctly. So when you as parent are dealing with homework or something and children are stuck, not able to do, you don't do the paraphrasing to them. Let them read and let them try to paraphrase and tell that back to you. That's what I do with my students. They tell that back to me. Then I understand that their understanding of the question itself is wrong. So I correct that. So second principle is to paraphrase. Third principle is to visualize. Visualize means once they have paraphrased, every math problem is a story without a climax. That's what I tell my students. Every math problem is a story, but doesn't have a climax, and we have to write the climax. How interesting this fact is, right? So, when they tell that thing, it becomes like a story. Ask them to visualize. If they can't visualize, make them draw about it. Say for example, a man travels this many kilometers from this city to that city. Draw a city A, city B, a stick figure. Make him walk, there's a connection road, and write the kilometers there. So, draw the word problem. Draw the thing, visualization. Draw the movie, okay? Or you can visualize also. That's the third step. Then you hypothesize. Means you guess the climax, right? The story is drawn. Now you guess the climax. You estimate it, okay? Now, for example, there were so many tigers in the forest some years ago. Now the tigers has become this much. Now you're seeing that the tigers were more before and now the tigers has become less. Now they're asking how many tigers have disappeared or dead or what is the thing. Then you know that your answer would be lesser, in the sense that there were more tigers and now it has become less. Some number got reduced, some number got removed. So you're seeing the scenario that it is removed. So you can guess or estimate that your answer will be a lesser number. It can never be the number greater than the first number of tigers. So this is called estimating. You're guessing the climax. Then the next step is to calculate. Now you know that it is going to be lesser and something is being removed. Then the calculation that is related to removing is subtraction. If children know that subtraction is removing, then they will automatically clearly tell you that subtraction is what is to be done, and do the subtraction, do the calculation, and then check. The last thing is check. Check whether it is reasonable. Means your answer cannot be greater than the initial number of tigers, isn't it? And you also know that whatever the answer you found is the number of tigers which disappeared or dead, and now some tigers are there. What if you join both of them? You should be getting the number of tigers that were in the beginning. That's a check, right? Or even without calculation check, you should be reasonable. The answer should be reasonable, right? So these are the steps. Read, paraphrase, visualize using drawing or mentally. Then hypothesize means you come up with the estimate, the guessing, you predict. So this is what could happen. It could be less, it could be more. You predict, then you calculate, then you check whether the answer is reasonable. So all these things children can do by themselves with the guidance given by parents or teachers. If children do that on their own for several problems, they have learned the problem solving skill. And my belief is, if you learn math in a certain way, it prepares you for life, because math is full of problems. When you solve problems of mathematics, you automatically learn the principles of problem solving, and your child, when they become older, they can solve any problem that comes into their life. They will know, oh, this is the situation, and they understand, paraphrase it. They paraphrase, they come up with their version of that story, version of that situation. Then what do? Okay, if I do this, if I do, what happens? Visualize. They visualize the future. If I take this step, what happens? If I take that step, what happens? They visualize. They estimate. They guess. The next step, if I do this one, this is what will happen. Then they actually go ahead and do that. Calculate. They actually go ahead and take that step and do. And then they see whether that worked out, whether it was reasonable. So all these are problem solving skills, life skills, and math can impart that if math is learned in a certain way. And that's exactly the way I make my students independent math learners. It is not I'm doing some magic. These are all principles, right? So I hope this video helped you. If it helped you, like it, share it with people who might like it as well, and dislike also, no problem. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the notifications icon, because I keep putting videos at various different times, so you don't miss out the math tips, techniques, and what parents and guardians and teachers can do to make children come out of the math fear. That's the mission of my life. Children discover their potential and live up to it. Every child has a mathematician inside them. That's why my upcoming book is called There is a Mathematician in You. I hope this helps. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notifications icon. See you then. Bye-bye.